Catherine obviously could be the first pick because 5-0 First banned it in the first game. So now Elite 8 know that 5-0 First don't want to play against it. So it might be a smart pick if that's something that Elite 8 do want to play. Obviously, 5-0 First kind of lost their chance to get Black Feather because they were first pick, but they're going to stick with the Arden Elite 8, thinking is a very strong capture at the moment. Most teams like playing Arden. With Black Feather off the table, there aren't any other seemingly too strong heroes in Southeast Asia. So this means Arden's a fine pick. I think a Catherine pick and then a Cruel ban would be really smart from 5-0 First, because if you ban Cruel, then that baits the enemy to ban Rhyme, and that means you get Catherine and Batiste. So that would be a nice draft. I think if they don't ban Cruel, then it's going to most likely be a Batiste ban from Elite 8.
Yeah, well, this Arden pickup being kind of, it's like the Arden pick is a bit more of a safety pick to he's going to throw at you, because Arden just works well with a lot of different comps there and is that kind of hero that allows your team to play more aggressively and not so much more as if you picked the Grace. And as what I mentioned, maybe one of Grace's flaws is the fact she can't directly protect her teammates, so the enemy could play into that fact. So I see as to why the side of Elite 8 didn't go for the Grace pick initially. Also, the Gauntlet, if used properly into the late game, just great zoning potential defensively and offensively. And there's going to be the Rhyme ban, followed through with a Celeste ban and a Vox pickup. So do you think that they're still going to leave the Batiste on the table, or some mage or CP jungler, of course, for the side of 500 First, that's going to have that kind of CC capability? Or do you think they're going to try pick it up for themselves on the side of Elite 8 more to just counter pick away from the enemy?
Yeah, I think the play from 5-0 First is we don't need to pick Batiste now. He's not the strongest hero. He got nerfed a couple of patches ago in terms of crystal power ratios, so he's not necessarily needed to be picked. But if Elite 8 let it through and it works in the draft, then why not pick Batiste as our jungler? They just want to secure the Vox for themselves.
And it's that steal as they pick up the Batiste, as we were speculating might happen. But now the question is, what do you fill that final spot with? What kind of CP hero has good CC at the moment?
I think you go for a mage, because mages counter Batiste really hard. If you go Scarf or Celeste, then Batiste is never going to get his ordained off. His bad mojo will barely do anything compared to what your poke is as a Scarf or Celeste. And the reason why they didn't pick Batiste now is they can change their comp up. They can go with a poke hero. They're not the strongest in the meta as compared to what assassins are. It still can work really well. It would work all right with Vox, and it basically becomes a Kestrel v whichever mage you pick in a skill shot war, which I think is a fine trade, especially given you've got Vox against Batiste in the other fight.
Yeah, and we will have to see what they go for. They are also, taking their time to think about this one. They do go for the Samuel in the end, but Oblivion is there. Good crowd control abilities on the side of 500 First Legion, where they have the Blast Tremor, they have the Wait for It, so 2 silences already, and then they have the Oblivion for Sleep. So if they're able to chain those correctly, they might be able to make some big plays. And I think, Samuel's a good pick in the sense that he really can keep his distance from Batiste. And of course, having that level 2 power spike, he might even be able to beat out the Batiste early on. We'll have to see how it goes down in the jungle. And
yeah, it really depends on... It really depends on who... Sorry.
They do have the Vox and the Kestrel, which I think are both very good picks in the current meta. More so Vox being more popular as to move into the late game, but that burst potential from that Kestrel on the side of the Batiste having the Ordained, you could also do similar. So I think both teams drafted just pretty well.
Yeah, it really depends on who has... on what range you are. If you're at close range, then Batiste is clearly going to win that. Whereas if Samuel can keep his distance, it will be pretty easy at level 2 for him to win that fight. Of course, if Batiste times his Ordained with the Drifting Dark, that can be really annoying for Samuel. He can be stuck outside the Drifting or forced to be stunned, which gives Batiste the advantage. So it's going to be an interesting trade. I hope they do fight at level 2, because both players can think that they're going to win, which means there's going to be a really interesting fight over that, possibly over the Elder Tree and possibly over the jungle of the enemy hero. So really interesting to see what happens in lane. I have to put the edge onto Kestrel in general in a 1v1 versus Vox. But obviously, if Vox manages to dive and get within range of Kestrel, it's tough because Kestrel wants to kite away, wants to go into active camo, wants to glimmer shot from distance, doesn't want to be in a close quarters 1v1 versus Vox.
Yeah, and I do think that it will be kind of even him. We will look for some early game aggression, more or less, and especially with Catherine for the side of 501st Legion, it would be nice to see them, trying to always play aggressively, try to build up those stacks, especially now that they're not going to be as much, they're not going to give you as much armor and shield. You have to go back to really trying to get more to make it more of a useful hero perk. And it's a bit of an interesting one with Catherine. I do see that she is still a strong captain, don't get me wrong, but I do think that other captains, such as the Lance, who got banned out in this match, Lance, Arden, and Grace, sit slightly above her, in my opinion. But do you see why it would be the priority pick and ban for the side of 501st?
Yeah, I think it makes sense because their draft strategy was let's bait Cath Batiste. And they did that. They picked the Catherine to bait either the Batiste ban or the Batiste pick from Elite 8. And they did. Elite 8 were forced to pick the Batiste so that 501st couldn't have it. And that's the main reason why Catherine tends to be picked up at the moment. It's not just as a hero by herself. She's quite good against Kestrel, which I guess works well if you guessed Elite 8 were going to play Kestrel. But it's generally to try and force one of the enemy's bans or picks onto that Batiste, because we've seen that combo before. It's so annoying to play against, especially with Echoes and with the nerf to Crucible, that it's now worse for a jungler or a laner to pick up Crucible for themselves, meaning the Echoed Silence is almost certainly going to go through. There's no way to echo activatables. That's not a thing. So you only get one Crucible, but Catherine gets 2 silences. Now we are loading into the House to Unfold for the second game of the final series and possibly the final game of today. Really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in this early game. Passive at level 1, but probably going to be aggressive at level 2.
Yep, and the skins in this match definitely something to look at. Look at that Batiste skin, the new Halloween skin, looking very cool and very suitable for the Batiste, I think, to have that kind of skin available to him. But I don't think in this situation skins will win. If so, we do have both teams even on skins. You could say the tier 3 skin for the Arden. And will it do if he's able to steal? And he does not steal it, so no. It's
skins are not even.
Elite 8, they've lost.
Elite 8 have got the best skin. There's no question here.
To see how it goes here as Jasmine stunning up Anime Save Me as they push in, and Revenger just trying to get some poke damage, some chip damage more than anything down. There's the real poke coming through by the side of Elite 8, and the Ordain landing onto Cassandra, forcing them into an early fight. They got the level 2, but they get shut down instantly by Hanyegas for the first blood. And Elite 8 pushing in so aggressively here with, I mean, why not? You have the Batiste on level 2, which could almost be arguably a stronger level 2 than the side of the Samuel level 2. And you were right about that when you said it's all about the range they fight at. And by going in as a team, having that Arden there to vanguard you into the fight, you were definitely going to be able to get up to the enemy's faces and lock them down, and then just push through together as a whole team, as we saw Kestrel as well. Being able to land glimmer shots, but 501st doing this in return to Hanyegas, who's going to fall to the side of 501st indeed, and Cassandra needing to be careful here. They did pick up a kill in return, but are going to hand their life over instantly, and maybe even revenge out by the Merciless Pursuit, and they're not able to catch him out. There's going to be a bad mojo, but will not hit. And now Elite 8 do have the opportunity to go into Samuel's jungle, however. So falling up in the lane was not very wise for him, as we now see Batiste going to get the upper hand and get this mid-triant.
Yeah, I think that level 1 Revenger X going to die. Nice actually come out and secure that kill. But the early game rotation from Elite 8 was better in this scenario. They took their backs together, took the front healing camp, and as I said, with the changes to experience, doing that is enough to get both your laner and your jungler to level 2 immediately. And so obviously Cassandra and Revenger X were busy taking the Elder Treant and their own healing camp, which is not enough to get level 2 as quickly as Elite 8 can. So So Elite 8 coming through, trying to steal the tree, but it didn't really matter. They were just happy to fight and deal so much damage because they were level 2, 5-0 first were level 1, and really that's not even a question who's going to win that early game. Now Cassandra could be caught out by that Ordained.
When they do get caught out, indeed, Jasmine trying to body block there does manage to do a good job of it and actually forcing Official Hind back. Right now, Anime Save Me does use a protector contract but doesn't have the Vanguard up just yet to keep Official Hind safe, but it should be enough for them to stay in the fight. They use their own potion as well, and going in once again, just the landing ball Ordained, trying to put the pressure up onto the lane, but right now 501st with no real reason to back out of this fight, just not going to get stunned up from something as simple as that. Official Hind, however, trying to stick into this one, knowing that they have the advantage if they can push the aggression and force a stun out of someone, and they get it onto Jasmine, and that's the power of this comp as a whole. It's really working out for the side of Elite 8, especially if this Batiste, but need to be careful. Cassandra and the Drifting Dark has the empowered Malice and Verdict, is going to not get the kill, however, and gets shut down by Hun Jaegers, but Revenger X going to be able to pick up every kill in return, and meanwhile Anime Save Me is trying to back up the base. This minion wave will be pushed in, and they might be able to get some early damage onto it. Whether Batiste will go up to it to defend is going to be the question, and it looks like they will, just making sure that 501st don't get too ahead of himself here.
Yeah, Batiste is it's nice for him to go to lane there, make sure. But the real problem there was that Kestrel was trying to make the plays, didn't quite have the damage to execute Vox in that straight 1-versus-1. Vox slightly higher health at the start, but now both teams going to go towards the jungle. Well, Elite 8 going to go farm the jungle up together, and it's a fountain already on Anime Save, but nothing on Jasmine. So despite that trading kills, 501st are certainly behind in gold. Samuel's now picked up his Frostburn, so that's not a big damage power spike, but it's a really nice utility power spike. Frostburn hasn't seen that much play on mages because it just doesn't do as much damage, and the slow is nice, but it doesn't, as I said, it just tickles. So Jaegers isn't really being hurt by that, but there's going to be a fight.
Yep, and we see the, wow, great use of the fearsome shade onto Cassandra. The whole team of 501st Legion getting caught up in that, but the kill going over as Cassandra falls. Revenger X soon to follow suit if he's not careful, but Official Hind going to go into the backs, using this as an opportunity to just further push that gold lead and that early game advantage that the side of Elite 8 already have. He's getting greedy, taking the whole of it, and is going to have to actually know that Cassandra is going up to the lane to defend against the rest of Elite 8's assault. So just a real fluid attack from the whole of Elite 8 all around. They might even pick up a kill onto Jasmine here if Jasmine isn't careful. There's a one-shot, one-kill that isn't going to land, however. But we do see 501st regrouping, Revenger X going in. There's going to be the Oblivion. It catches out Kestrel, who is asleep, but they were invisible, so no follow-through by 501st. Official Hind pushing in deep now with that Ordained, and Revenger X just standing still in it, having to take shots from the Kestrel. Whether they get stunned out or whether they're just zoned in it, it's a great ability and a great team comp overall coming out from the side of Elite 8, and they're just playing it very well. As we see here, they go in, take out Box instantly, use for Ordained. They might even get the turret as well. It looks like they will. Cassandra not able to defend that one, and Official Hind looking for more, manages to get the Fearsome Shade into the turret to stun up Cassandra, and Elite 8 just pushing through. You said we would have an aggressive early game, but 10 kills at 6 minutes on the side of Elite 8, only 2 over to the side of 501st is a bit more than aggressive. This is just slaughter coming out from the side of Elite 8.
It looks like both carry and jungler from Elite 8 will do the 1 kill a minute game, where they get 1 kill for every minute of the game. They've both got 5 kills 7 minutes in, so they're getting close. If one player gets a triple kill pretty soon, then they will be at that point. Official Hind, though, with doing so much work on the Batiste in that fight, 500 burst damage onto the Samuel. He should buy some defense items. That might help him out against this Batiste. And Revenger X will be able to put him in the end, one shot onto Cassandra. So Elite 8 could try and fight, or maybe push, get a gold mine with their gold lead.
And Official Hind just harassing Jasmine at this point, making sure they don't go back to base, catching them out in that Ordain. Jasmine just staying around in it, but that Storm Guard not going to last for long, already taking a lot of damage and not much actually being reflected back. Surprisingly, though, Official Hind with a Shatter Glass, you'd expect it, and there's the damage coming through. But Arden with the double kill, he got the gauntlet, they might even give him the triple. Anime Save Me, do it! Jump! Get it! And he gets the triple. Supports need kills as well. I remember that used to be a saying, and it's definitely coming back here with Anime Save Me. And of course the damage overall coming out from the whole team of Elite 8 is just immense. And it's what I like to see when teams pick up this Arden. You know, as I mentioned in the draft phase, that Arden's a very flexible roamer, so a good first pick, but also allowing your carries and your junglers to go for a more aggressive build. And they're rarely not holding back on anything. We see Hun Jaegers with not an ounce of defense. Meanwhile, Official Hun, you know, he has to be in that front line, so having that reflex block isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's going to be another fight. Blast Tremor.
Pushing around, yes, uses the Blast Tremor to engage, but there's going to be the Oblivion in return, gets blocked out. Official Hind not able to actually get onto Cassandra this time. Could be dangerous, but they do manage to get the gold payout, and they might back out of this fight. Official Hind gets the Vanguard onto him, is going to go towards Cassandra, just trying to force him back out. That Drifting Dark Blaze on the edge of it, and now Hun Jaeger's joining in on the fight. They're going to be able to find the kill onto someone eventually, but meanwhile, Vox left up in his own. I mean, Vox playing this one smart, knowing that they aren't winning the team fights at this point in the time, but, you know, we can get money still from getting objectives, and we're getting objectives. Hey, you know, what always wins games? Getting objectives. And Revenger X doing a good job of pushing that lane back up in favor of them. They still are down a turret against Elite 8, but not a bad idea there, as we saw Jasmine and Cassandra. Meanwhile, I would say they did fall to Elite 8, but they were more buying time for 500 first, so it's not lost for them yet.
Yeah, I think Kestrel was thinking about going up to lane, but ended up not.
Oh my, the damage onto Revenger X coming out from Official Hind. There's going to be the Gauntlet trapping out Cassandra, and Jasmine going through with the Reflex Block, able to escape it. Official Hind might fall, but they use their own Reflex Block, and they're going to be alive. There's the double kill going over to Hun Jaegers, and just the damage to start that fight out coming through from Official Hind onto Revenger X. Revenger X trying to match damage for damage, but right now Elite 8 are so far ahead, they're almost hitting the 10k gold mark at 10 minutes. They're at 28.4 over to 18.6. They're basically there. They just got that turret and they're basically there now.
They're going to probably grab the gold mine or just get their backs, but that'd be stupid. Why grab your jungle when you can fight again? Go in, try and kill someone, and Batista decided that 720 damage was not enough. He wants an extra heavy prism and infusion. There's been no defense picked up, so that 720 is probably going to go up to about 800 with an Empower Bad Mojo. There's another fight going out in lane.
Oh man, neither team has defense at this point, and Batiste going on the backline with Ordain does manage to catch out Samuel in it, but he's going to get taken down by Hun Jaegers before he even gets stunned up by that. Meanwhile, Revenger X on a sliver of health, just trying to run away from the enemy team. Will he be able to make it, as we see Jasmine getting locked down by the Ordained, and one by one they're falling. Revenger getting spotted out, and there's the chase for Vanguard onto Hun Jaegers. It's just going to be one shot, not even a glimmer shot, just right in the back where the arrow takes him down. It isn't the ace, however, as Cassandra back up on the fold. Jasmine somehow able to escape that one, but only for a while longer. They're just playing with their food at this point, and Cassandra might be able to turn this one around. They just need one more shot, but Kestrel going to go into the active camo, gets out of there. One shot, one kill, not going to land up. But this is a choice that 500 first playing a very risky game. I think they feel that, you know, we're so behind on gold, we can't risk to build any defense. We have to try and keep up with damage. But they're still ahead.
It doesn't feel like it would do anything, does it? It doesn't feel like defense would help you.
Look at Jaegers, who has that Sorrow Blade double Tyrant's monocle, and then Revenger X still being behind that because he only has the Breaking Point and Tornado Trigger. And we see Elite 8 going in once again. There's Ordained on the backline on Samuel. Great communication through Elite 8 as they take him down instantly. They're going to follow through with the kill onto the Vox, and now they're just chasing down Jasmine for the final kill. They get stunned out by the Ordained. There's nowhere to run. There's the triple kill going over to Hunt Jaegers, and it's only 12 minutes 45 in. They don't even have to push through the anchor turret. They're going to move on to these base turrets. They have 3 seconds until Cassandra's up and 4 until Revenger X, so they have more than enough chance to finish out this game, but we'll see whether there's anything that 501st can do with their dying breath. It looks like Oblivion going to go down. It does get blocked out. Cassandra going low. This could be the chance. Official Hein also fairly low. But meanwhile, we see Revenger X low. And Cassandra has healed up here. They could push in with the Drifting Dark, but can't get caught out in that Oblivion. Instead, get pushed back by the Fearsome Shade. Cassandra has an opportunity, needs to find the hits, but there's a Fountain from Anime Save Me just baiting in the team of 501st. Meanwhile, Fountain not quite up, another 7 seconds for the side of 501st. Catherine needs to stay alive, but Vox gets shut down before that. Kestrel going in big, getting the Vox, getting the Samuel, moving on to Jasmine, getting another triple kill. And that is more than likely going to end the game or end my shoutcasting career because I'm going to lose my voice.
That is more than 2 kills a minute in total game. 29 kills, almost dead on a 14-minute game. And
Kestrel! Round of applause we have to give to Kestrel. They did win out the 1 kill per minute game.
He did. Kestrel did the plays.
Batiste got the 15 assists per minute. And still 9 kills to his name, so great job there as well. But overall, Elite 8 just playing that comp to perfection. You know, 501st, they did the draft right. They had the right idea there. They ended up forcing the Batiste pick onto Elite 8, but ended up playing against them. And it's so just... wow, but I'm just impressed by the damage that came out across the board because no one had like a shred of defense except for the Roamers.
Yeah, that was definitely nice to see over 800 damage. That was lovely to see on the Batiste. I really think that Elite 8 just showed everyone how you do an early game snowball properly. You get kills, you get objectives, you get more kills,